The Secretary General will now brief you on this working session, and then you'll have time for a few questions. Secretary General.
Good evening. We have just had a very useful and good meeting and discussion on the main themes of one of the main themes of the summit, and that is how to project stability in NATO's neighborhood. NATO has a long history of doing just that through operations such as in Afghanistan or in the Balkans, through military training missions such as in Iraq, and capacity building for more than 40 different partners. We must retain our ability to deploy combat forces when needed. But we must also do more to train up local forces to secure their own territory and push back against extremist groups. NATO can make a real contribution. We have the experience in doing large-scale training missions. We have the political and military structures to run such missions. We are actively engaging with partners in many parts of the world. And we have the staying power which matters for this kind of long-term challenges. We have increased our efforts since foreign ministers last time met in December. Iraqi officers are now being trained in Jordan in areas such as counter-improvised explosive devices, military medicine, and civil military planning. Several hundred Iraqi officers will have completed training by the end of this year. We are developing a number of projects with Jordan itself, including on cyber defense. In Tunisia, we are providing assistance and expertise to develop special forces training and a national intelligence fusion center. We are also providing capacity building support to Moldova and Georgia and assisting Ukraine with its ongoing reforms. Excuse me. Today we discussed what more we should do. On Iraq, we discussed the request by Prime Minister al-Abadi to expand our training and capacity building into Iraq itself. We agreed to send an assessment team to Iraq as soon as possible. It will explore the possibility of NATO training inside Iraq and how to ensure that any such efforts would be complementary to what the global coalition is doing. All allies contribute to the coalition in one way or another. Today we also discussed how NATO could further support the coalition, including by providing direct NATO support by AWACS aircraft operating in NATO territory and international airspace. And we will look into that possibility. On Libya, we decided to continue our preparatory work with a view to helping build Libya's defense and security institutions. NATO stands ready to support the Libyan authorities based on their request and as part of the UN-led efforts. We also agreed that the alliance can do more in the Mediterranean Sea, in cooperation with the European Union and other actors. We are now converting Operation Active Endeavour into a broader maritime security operation. We are still working on the details, but this would include 7 different tasks, such as supporting situational awareness, upholding freedom of navigation, conducting interdiction, supporting maritime counterterrorism, and contributing to capacity building. NATO is already doing a great deal with partners and for partners, but we can and should do more, because projecting stability in our neighborhood is also about preserving security here at home. And with that, I'm ready to take your questions.